Okay, so welcome everyone to our September community call, our first after a short break over the summer. If this is the first one of these that you have attended, we have these meetings every month. The topics change. Sometimes we're seeing demos from new IIIF enabled projects. Sometimes we're having kind of wide-ranging technical discussions about the IIIF APIs and their extensions and what we're doing going forward. And other times we're seeing new demos of tools and things in the wider IIIF ecosystem. Before we get started with our topic, I'm going to take just a couple minutes for some community news. The first is that the dates for our online meeting are now set. That will happen January 27th through 29th, and the call for proposals is open for that. The online meeting is completely free. We try to schedule most of it at a time where our colleagues on the West Coast of the North America and through Europe are at least awake. And we do lightning talks and presentations, and we also tend to have a lot of free workshops and training. So put that on your calendar, and even better if you'd like to submit something. The other items of note are that the annual meeting dates are now set in stone. June 1st through the 4th will be in the Netherlands. The main conference days will happen in Leiden, and we'll have some associated events going on in The Hague and possibly in Amsterdam, but that'll happen June 1st through the 4th, 2026. And I just want to make note that we have a couple of interesting community group calls. Our museums group is meeting on Monday, and they will have a presentation from the Van Gogh Worldwide Project, which is uniting Van Gogh's works in one digital exhibition. And then our AV group will meet in October, and they will have a presentation from some of the folks working on the IIIF service at the Internet Archive, which is now supporting audiovisual items fully. So if you want to sign up for our newsletter or see the stuff that I post in Slack, there's lots of interesting things happening in our community group calls as well. Okay, and with that, I am going to turn it over to our presenters, Margaux Faure and Juliette Hueber, to present on PerVisum.
Can you see my screen?
Yeah? Yes.
Thank you. So thank you very much, Kathleen. So we already presented the PerVisum project at the IIIF annual conference in Leeds, and we are very glad to have the opportunity to present it again today in more detail. So I am Juliette Hueber, a research engineer at the CNRS, the French National Center for Scientific Research, and I am responsible for digital publishing projects, and I am the coordinator of the PerVisum project. And I am here today with Margaux Faure from the French National Institute of Art History, and she's the developer of the digital tool we are building for the PerVisum project. Yes. So, sorry. So just to give you a bit of context, the PerVisum project is a 2-year initiative led by the French National Institute of Art History. While the Institute has already embraced a IIIF approach by providing access to content through its digital library and Agora platform, this project, so the PerVisum project, takes a new direction. Its primary focus is on the reuse of content rather than just making it available. And funding comes from the Open Science National Fund of the French Ministry of Research, which support open access initiative. So over the past 16 months, we have been working on creating a new writing and editorial tool for academic publishing. But the PerVisum project is a part of a wider reflection on how images are used in the scientific publishing. So we focused at current practices and the potential of digital technologies, specifically the IIIF standard. So the project explores editorial formats that center academic demonstration on images. The main goal of PerVisum is to provide an innovative framework and methodology for the writing and the publication of visual scientific articles. In order to reach this ambition, the project is structured around several objectives, highlighting the image as a primary medium for scientific demonstration through the IIIF protocol, exploring and proposing new ways of reading and writing scientific articles. And as Margaux will show you, we are developing a IIIF manifest generation tool. This tool is designed to fit into the scientific publishing workflow, and it supports the IIIF format both to read and create a IIIF manifest. And we are also documenting this exploratory initiative. So where did our project come from? The problem we identified is that images are often reduced to mere illustrations. That shows that images are not traditionally at the core of scientific publishing, even for image-centered research. But digital tools, and in this case specifically IIIF, can help recenter scientific publishing around images. As you know, technology like IIIF give advanced ways to explore, compare, and add notes to images, opening new paths for a scientific study. So we have the technology to do it, but we also need to reframe our approach conceptually. We have to show that there is another way than always putting text first and images last. And building up on this perspective, we found that with the IIIF standard, images can be used as actual material rather than mere add-ons, thanks to features such as annotation and image exploration. So with annotation, writers can then write their paper directly as comments about the images and even specific regions of the images. And Margaux will show you that. And readers are able to read the paper by navigating through the image annotation. And with image exploration, images can be displayed in a richer way with advanced navigation capabilities thanks to IIIF viewers, and readers can compare and juxtapose items from diverse sources. Additionally, So we set to organize a series of workshops to refine our ideas and prototypes with researcher and publisher using the PerVisum editor at various stages of development. Our workshops have been based on the idea of testing the use of IIIF manifest as a new way of publishing papers. But first, we ran some tests to check whether IIIF could be used in a French publishing workflow, as Margaux will show you.
So I will share my screen. Okay, so can you see the slide?
Okay. Yes.
Okay, so thank you. So I will continue. So as Juliette said, we made experiment, and one of the first experiment we made was to test the insertion of a chapterized viewer into already published article. So we have two examples here to show you. So the first one here. So just tell me if you don't see the web page, but normally it's okay. So it's on a French platform called Open Edition. That is one of the main platforms in French for digital publishing. And so we try to integrate an image from the INHA digital library. So this is it. And so you can zoom in, well, just as IIIF follow, you can see small details, painting on the wall. And so that is the first integration we made. And if you scroll and, well, see, for example, this image that is on IIIF, well, you can't interact with it. And that's a little bit frustrating when you interact with this one just before. And the second example is on another platform, and here we try to integrate portfolio at the end of the article. So this is here. So this is the end of the article, and you have a portfolio that is like a quick integration of Mirador. And so you can see the different images. And what is interesting with this example is that before this integration, this corpus was only accessible by clicking on this link that is a PDF link. So you have to click to consult these images, because it comes from the print book. And yeah, so you can see that with this solution, the corpus becomes immediately much more visible, and the researcher was quite satisfied with this solution. Also, it's not a perfect solution because it helped us raise some issues, because, for example, the images here are, the viewer is embedded in an iframe, so the images are not considered as editorial data. So, for example, if you go to the table of illustrations, so here, you can't find the image you can see in the viewer, and also the images aren't indexed by search engines. So that's why we are working with scholarly publisher, so on how to integrate IIIF data directly into publishing workflow. Just go back there. And so this experiment was made by our team, and we are quite familiar with IIIF. But for authors, we needed interfaces that make it possible to gather images and annotate them without requiring technical knowledge. So the idea is that researchers can prepare themselves the corpus they want to publish. And so that's why we developed a prototype. So it's not only to help build the IIIF corpus, but it's also a proof of concept. And we would like to, well, it's a proof of concept to answer the question, can we rethink the image-text relationship in an article? And can we imagine a scientific demonstration written entirely through IIIF annotation? So the goal was to design a tool where everything is recorded in a IIIF manifest, and so the user can create an editorial unit that can be either a portfolio, so as you have seen just before, or a more experimental article where all the text is made of annotation. So just quickly on the technical side, we use open source technology, and for IIIF especially, we use OpenSeaDragon and Annotorius. On the functional side, so here are the main features we identified to define PerVisum's identity. So the tool must enable to gather IIIF sources and select canvases from it. And also it must enable to manipulate these sources and generate contents that meets the standard of academic publishing. And also the tool must be a way to explore a new type of article where the scientific reasoning a new type of article that demonstrates scientific reasoning through images. So the tool is based on the following principles. So IIIF content is published by a heritage institution, and this content serves as the base material. So researcher can select images from their sources to build the working corpus, and then they can annotate parts of these images and organize those annotations to build and guide their argument. And so at the end, we have a IIIF manifest that can be integrated into a publishing system. So one of our main goals here is to show that IIIF manifest can actually become a true editorial format. So we have to focus on, we focused on created interfaces that let users generate this IIIF manifest without technical skills, and so generate this manifest through their action on the interfaces. So this is the model. So you have the input with the IIIF sources or the processing, and then the output going to the editorial workflow. And so we have translated these three parts into three main components. So you have the corpus composer to gather images, the annotation editor to write, and then the demonstration viewer to review your work before the export. So here you have a screenshot of the application, but well, now we will have a more concrete look, and we will navigate through the application. So I will use an example. We work with the researcher who agreed to try to write scientific demonstration through IIIF annotations. So this is the example that we use to present the tool. Where is it? So here, okay. So this is the interface you can have when you are login. So everything, for all the interfaces are in French, but the example I'm using is written in English. So sorry for the French part. So you can create an editorial unit. So for example, you have here two units, and I will focus on this one. So you have the title of your unit here, and you can find three main buttons, and your three main buttons correspond to your three components. So the corpus composer, the annotation editor, and the demonstration viewer. So I will start with the review part to show you the result, and then we will see how this was built. So this is an article about a game board. So here's the review part. So you have all your text on your right side. And all the text comes from IIIF annotation. So basically, this is a set of IIIF annotation that have been sequenced and organized. And so the annotation currently displayed in the viewer is this one. Well, you have blue lines to show that, but maybe something we can improve after. But so here you have the first annotation displayed, and you have the two targets related to this text. So you can navigate through the image like this, and so you see that the image changes, and also the annotation, the textual content. And also you can use multiple times the same image, but with different targets, because the textual content is related to these areas of interest. So you can navigate through via the images, but you can also navigate via the text. So if I go at the last part, if I click on this textual content, the viewer will show me the fragment annotated. And so if I click on the just under, it will show me that this is the area of interest with the annotation. And so I can also go back at the first one, for example. So you can navigate the way you want to review what you have written. And well, I just wanted to add that this is like just one way to stage the narrative, but we could imagine many different ways to present the content. And that's something we would like to work on at the INHA. But in this interface, the idea is to make sure that you have written what you wanted to write and that you have selected the good parts on the images. So that's the result. And to do that, we had to collect images. So you have your corpus composer here. So here you can find the image added to the corpus, and you can add a new one by, you have to pass the IIIF manifest link to select the image you want to use. So I don't have a manifest link. I will take this one. I'm not sure it's related to our subject, but just to show you. So if you pass your manifest, and then you can see that, this is the label of your manifest, and this is the image in it. So here just one, something about rugby. And so you can select it if you want to use it for your work, but I won't do it now because it doesn't have, it's not related to our subject. But the other way to add images is to go to your, let's see, library of manifest. I'm not sure you can say it this way, but this is a list of your manifest, and because you have already selected images from them. So if I take the first one, for example, I can see the image again, and well, you can see that I already used these images. And if I want to select a new one, well, I could click on this one, for example, and validate. So the image appears just here. Also, you can edit the metadata for each images, so you can add a new one, or you can retrieve metadata from the original manifest. So this is a manifest from the French National Library. And so you can also edit the value, of course. Well, yeah, so that's the part about collecting images, and the writing part, the writing environment is here. So this is a more complex interfaces. You have like 3 parts, the current image. On the left side, you can find the structure section. So you can create group to create sequence of your images. So here you can recognize the different title of your demonstration. So if I go back, yeah, you have one introduction to playing to learn, etc. And so you can add the image you want to include into your group. So here I just have one image because you have seen that in my introduction I only have one annotation, and so I don't need the other images, but I could add new one. We're also trying to, well, it is also possible to add new images directly from this interface not sure it is perfect for now, but the idea was to find ways to allow the user to complete its selection without having to go to another page because it's interrupting the thought process. So that's something we are working on. And so, yeah, so you can select, well, I will go to the last part. And if I select the game board, so you can see that I have other annotation that are just here. And so I can edit them or add a new one. So if I had something like this, just quickly to show you. So you can add text. And you could also add a new target if you want to target two parts of the image. And then you can reorder your annotation with a drag and drop. So that's how you can control your narrative flow. And so if you go to your review component, you will see that your annotation is just here between the two. All right. Yeah. So I think that's it for the demonstration. And so now I would like to tell you about how we use IIIF in PerVisum. So as I said, the application generates a manifest for each editorial unit. And so each selected image is inserted into a canvas, and we use the structure section to store the writing work. We made this choice because it lets us organize the content into a title section, and so that fits the logic of scientific writing. And also it makes it possible to reuse the same image multiple times and with different annotation. So as you saw with the game board, for example. Well, another way to present things. So you have your IIIF sources and the selected image go to your item spot, and your sequence, well, what the sequence is in the structures section. So this is how is it displayed on the interfaces. So when you are working on your corpus, you are generated the items part of the manifest. And when you are working on writing, you are generating the structure section of the manifest. So at the end, we have this manifest, and we are collaborating with our French partner, Metop, to integrate this content into their editorial workflow. So their workflow works with an XML pivot file that enables multi-format publishing. And our idea is that since we have a IIIF manifest, it is entirely possible to implement other type of integrations. So you can publish the manifest as a standalone editorial object, or you can reuse the content generated and incorporating it into other digital systems. So that's it for the application presentation, and I will let Juliette continue on the next step.
No, doesn't work. No. Yes. So we expect to make the code open source with the first stable version of the tool likely in October or November. And speaking out of next steps, we're working on developing and implementing editorial output in various format like HTML, EPUB, and PDF. And we would like to continue working on creating a seamless application experience that eliminates interruptions, as Margaux showed you, and aligns with the user's thought and writing flow. So it was really something the searcher, some of the searcher we were trying to work on our tool. They said to us that it was really important for us not being interrupted, and it's logic. And we would also like to explore the potential application of AI to identify relevant regions to annotate and to suggest annotations. And we are trying to provide free hosted access to the application as a SaaS solution. So just not the application available on a Git. So using IIIF as an enabler, the PerVisum writing and editing tool aims to make the following changes possible. So it helps researchers move from a text-based workflow to one where they are immersed in the images, allowing them to explore, annotate, and analyze visual sources in a seamless, integrated manner while writing. And for readers, this immersive approach is intended to help them stay focused on the images while reading the text without interruption. So thank you, and we will be happy to answer the question you may have.
Okay, thank you both. As they said, if you have questions, we have plenty of time here to answer them. Feel free to unmute yourself and speak up. If you don't want to, you can also type them in the chat and I will read them out loud. So I will give you a minute because I have a couple questions, but I'd like to give you all a chance first.
Just out of curiosity, why Open Sea Dragon?
Yeah, it was because we had to we would like to start with like the base material because we would like to focus the development on the annotations part. And so as far as we know, well, we would like to have interfaces that give like a big part to show the annotation. And so, well, what we found is that most of the time the annotation are quite hidden. Like, for example, in Mirador, you have to select to find them, and sometimes you can miss them. So, so it will be well difficult to miss the text of the demonstration.
Yes, very important. Cool, thank you.
Thank you. Sorry, my English isn't perfect.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, my French is terrible. So
I'm trying.
So I have kind of a broad question, which is, as you were prototyping this and you're talking maybe to researchers, was there any kind of pushback that you got from folks about either not wanting to learn a new system or thinking it's fine, I can do this the way that I've been doing it before. And I ask because this has come up quite a bit in the education group, that some of our IIIF focused instructional designers say that they're running up against researchers who say, I've been pasting images into Word documents forever, and that's fine for me. Is that?
Yeah, we were surprised because first, as we are in the French National Institute of Art History, we were thinking of we wanted to work with art historians, but most of they are not, for the moment, some of them are not really interested in doing that, in working, in writing is like that. They said that no, they are used to have the text and the images, and they are separated, and they doesn't want to. It's not needed, and it's artificial for them. I don't know, but so we found out that in archaeology they were really interested, and also in geography. So yes, we have the other thing is that a lack of for some colleagues it was a really interesting. For the tool is really interesting because they said to us, oh, it's funny because I work this way. I have my PowerPoint and I write in my PowerPoint, and your tool is doing what I am trying to do with my Microsoft environment. So it's useful.
Mhm.
And others, they are a bit, angry with us because they say, no, it's okay. We work in another way, and we don't want to try. So it's funny. Maybe Margaux can said something too, but it's for some of them, it's there is no in between. Say it's or great or no, and we're not interested. We have a question, but it's more for Margaux, I think.
Maybe it's a comment, but I'm hoping that HTML-based
Oh, yeah.
rendering becomes more important in publishing of
yeah.
research because HTML is more accessible than PDF. IIIF
Yeah.
is the data container that lets us render research as HTML.
Yeah.
I have a question, if I can. So is this the first sort of your launch into IIIF, this project, or did you have a previous implementation and this is sort of an add-on, like you're sharing other resources through IIIF, or was this like your first jump into it?
It was as I said, in our institute they have no, I didn't say that, but we have a huge library, and they have digital library, so with the IIIF, and so we use it as to serve content, but it's our first approach with the IIIF in the reuse part. So the main idea of the project is really to reuse content, and by building this tool, we are trying to use a lot of manifest to write papers and to test the tool, and we can see that often, not always, but often we have a problem with manifest that are invalid, doesn't work. We don't know what's going on. So we have the impression that when you work, the reuse of is not always think, you know, the library they build their digital library with IIIF, but they never try to reuse it really. So with our project, we really see that there is something going on here with the reuse part.
And then can I ask, are there metrics for measuring reuse of assets? Or is the goal, is it kind of anecdotal? And I ask this because we have groups who really wish that they could see how often their IIIF resources are being reused by other researchers, but we don't necessarily have a way to track that. So is it just like if things are published and we see that manifests are being put into published materials through the system, then we'll know? Or how do you measure the output?
Yeah, here for us, the problem was more that we there is some problems. So we test the tool, and so Margaux and I, now we know a bit about IIIF, so we know how to deal with the problems, but our colleagues, the researcher, they don't know it. So if we say to them, okay, you can find a resource and find a manifest, and you can put it into our tool, and after you can write. And the first thing, it's for them it's difficult to find a manifest because they don't know where to go. And after that, if I say, okay, you can go to the I don't know, the digital library of Yale, or and so, but each interface is different. So some of them, they put the logo of IIIF, but some other don't do that. So it's difficult to find the manifest, and it's not always the same thing. For some of them, you can download the viewer, other you can't. So it's we are trying to explain that, and after there is a problem of you have a manifest, and sometimes it doesn't work, and the colleague, they don't understand what's going on. So it's yeah, it's some problem, or we can we saw with that, and it limit the reuse or the interest they can have with towards IIIF.
Sorry, we have one more in the chat. The application has a really beautiful user flow for the annotation writing and selecting of image targets. Very nice. I'm curious what tool was used for selecting the section of the image for the annotation.
So we use Annotate, the last version, the 3, I believe.
Cool, thank you.
Okay, is there an interest to search the annotation content while you are working on it, or is that something later once it has been published?
I'm not sure I understood really the question. So maybe if you can just rephrase
Sorry,
it, but it's the only thing is our idea is really to use the annotation to write a paper. So the idea at the end is to have a paper, and you can read it really like a paper, just the text, and or you can read it by through the image, and you have all the annotation, and it gives you the paper at the end. But that
yeah.
was
What
not the answer.
what I meant was, if you had a lot of content, if you were dragging in like images and had quite a lot of annotation while you were doing that process, is there any like need to search to find things in your annotations to go back and review before you get to publish? I was just curious about the sort of the user experience around searching annotations, really.
I think it's a great idea. We didn't thought about that because it's true for now we have just small content, but we have to try with like huge demonstration. So when you have lots of text, so well, yeah, thank you because I think it's a good thing to try, and it could be very useful for users.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay.
Yes, I will have one question, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, we are working like with digital publishing, and so for images we have to add alternative text. And so we were wondering if, well, do you know someone in the community that already have work on this subject or not?
Has someone in this community worked on accessibility issues in IIIF?
When
I
I
don't
was
know if
at
you guys can hear me.
oh, go for it. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. No, it's okay.
Brittany's.
If anyone does have ideas for accessibility or wants to be involved, we are getting together a IIIF usability and accessibility community group. And one of our first things that we are looking to do after we finally finish our charter is kind of share these accessibility recommendations that we made for when you're creating IIIF manifests. So, for example, using the ranges structure to create a table of contents is just one example of what we might suggest. So yeah, so look out for that, I guess, is the thing I can say.
When I was at Code for Lib earlier this year, there's a engineer who's working on creating alt text for a bunch of free books that have images and illustrations, and he's taking advantage of some AI tools to be able to generate that alternative text from the images. Of course, there's some issues. But I can find their information and post it in, where's a good place to post it? Is general okay? The IIIF general Slack?
Kate, if you put it in
There's
general,
Sorry?
I was gonna say,
oh,
if you
sorry,
post, I was say, if you
Oh,
post it in
no.
general, I'll make sure that it gets where it needs to go, both to Margaux and to Juliette, and then maybe to Brittany and other people who may be interested. But yeah, as much stuff in general is good, so that
Okay,
we
yeah,
can get
can
more
do.
eyes on it.
Okay, thank you so much.
But so if you are interested and you want to know more about the project, so I can give you again our email, because you can contact us too.
Okay, any last thoughts? I will put the project email in the notes, which are always accessible. They'll be in the calendar invite if you need to go back and find them later. Also, if you missed part of the conversation today, I will do my best to get the recording turned around and up on YouTube by the end of my workday. So you should all have it by tomorrow. And like I said, there's lots of places for people to share things. So if you have items to share regarding alt text using AI, other suggestions, please avail yourself of the IIIF Slack. We have lots of different channels. If you put things in general, I'll share them around to other places where they might be useful. Okay, so thank you, Margaux and Juliette, and we will see you all again, I hope, next month.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.